Hey there, Internet. So I was just fooling around with a project and doing some TIG brazing, and I was trying to shoot it on my newish camera. I really did it terribly wrong. I did. There's almost nothing I did that worked. Really, you got to do it with no reliance on automatic anything. It's got to be full manual mode, and it's kind of hard to set up because you got to get all your welding gear on, and then you got to go ahead and you got to make the weld, and then you got to take your helmet off and take your gloves off and run over the camera and it's just it's really not fun. But so I was lazy. I set everything on auto magical mode. I was just reviewing the footage and I noticed something very, very interesting. I noticed the lens flare was pretty intense. And it took me a little bit, but once I actually started to look more closely at it, I saw that it was actually pretty well in focus and exposed fairly decently. So I flipped the footage upside down, and it actually turned out pretty good. And you can see here side by side, the the non-flare looks terrible, and the flare looks great. Here's another angle. The angle's slightly different because I moved the workpiece. You can see pretty clearly. You can see the TIG rod going into the puddle there, and you can pretty plainly see the arc forming, and you'll probably be able to see me getting the edges of this little slot a little bit too hot. But yeah, I thought it was interesting. Here's another side by side shot. The question I have is, number one, is the camera, like here the camera's not doing a great job focusing. It would help if I wasn't so foolishly setting the f-stop to 2.8. But it's doing a decent job focusing. But here in this next shot, it almost looks like the camera is focusing on the lens flare. And because it's in full autofocus mode, I would guess that's exactly what's happening. I don't even know if the exposure might even be exposing for the lens flare. The camera might just be super confused. But if you have any idea why this works, or what's actually happening here, or maybe some other examples of where a flare is has a better exposure than the bright thing that you're trying to film, post a comment down below and let me know how that works, or what your ideas are, if you have any theories. And maybe eventually I'll be able to shoot this stuff correctly the first time, and use the manual settings the way they're intended. Um, but this was a fun little discovery. So anyway, just thought I'd share this with folks in case anybody's interested, and thanks for watching. Bye.